Hey, what's up YouTube? So I want to talk about a plugin today that is super popular right now. It's called RC20 and it's like all the craze right now. I'm seeing all these producers slap this shit on their tracks, on their projects, on their melodies, on all their stuff. And so, look at my dog. Look at my dog! He's new. I just got him. His name's Tempo. He's super cool. Yeah, so I want to talk about RC20 and I want to show you how I use it and some of the things you can do with it. And there's a link below if you want to check it out too. You can get a 7-day trial and see if you like it for yourself. But let's get into the plugin and let's talk about it a little bit and we'll put it on some sounds and see how we do. Alright, so we're going to look at a plugin called RC20. It is all the craze right now. Everybody's got it. Everybody's slapping it on their tracks. But why are we doing it? What is it used for? And what does it do for our sound? This microphone feels stupid. I'm like, I need to readjust this for a second. Okay. Yeah, RC20. Super popular plugin right now. It gives you that analog warmth. It does some wobbly thingies and it does a bunch of stuff. But let's look at it and see what we can do to our sound with it. And I'll show you what I use it for. Here's our melody, first of all, that we're going to be messing with. Checking my dog in the background. That's my new dog. That's my new pup. His name's Tempo. Okay, so that's our melody. Let's slap RC20 on here and see what we can do with it. I got 2 RC20s. Because 2's better than 1. Just kidding. They're the same. Alright, so right off the bat with just the standard, the initial preset that you put in there, this is what it sounds like. It gives it a little more depth, it adds a little bit more warmth, but what is each section actually doing? So this first section right here is like giving you that vinyl sound, right? Or that just warm analog type sound. It's kind of like digitally remaking that analog sound, but here's the tone. You can turn it up. It's really loud right now, but here's the different sounds. That one sounds cool. So you got all sorts of different sounds, but I like to just like turn this down a little bit. If you want to add a little bit of warmth, a little bit of crackle to your sound, super cool. You can change the tone. You can kind of follow your signal. Pretty cool. This one is probably my favorite. This is the wobble factor of everything. Kind of like this adds so much movement to your melodies. Let me show you real quick. I'm gonna turn it all the way up so that you know what it's doing. So this is the wow, and you can see what the signal's doing right here. And I can turn it over to more flutter. You can mix between the wow and the flutter. Flutter is more like, and like the wow is more like, I don't know how to explain that, but see how it's like detuning, untuning kind of. It's wobbling between like the tuning, and this is like fluttering the sound. And you can change the rate of these. Faster, slower, wower. Look how wow that is. Like it's really like wowing. It's really detuning and stuff. So like that keeps, the cool thing about that is like it makes your sound unstable, and making it unstable makes it sound natural and less computerized, less electronic, and so that just gives it so much more character. And you can make this stereo. So now you got 2 signals that are like wobbling. And when you turn it down, it makes it flow more together, kind of. It's like phasing in and out of each other. Like you can see what the signal's doing, but if you turn it up, like it just gets wild. So like you can make a melody, like this melody is all pretty and such, but you can make it like all destroyed. Obviously that's a lot, but, and then you can mix the signal in. So now like it's cool because you got like your main melody mono. Well, it's not mono, but it's like more in the center, and then you've got like the effect being stereoized, stereoed. And then you can just mix those two signals in. This is crazy, but like let's turn this down. See, that sounds pretty cool. It's a little bit too fluttery for me. Get some more wow in there. So yeah, there's that. There's the wobble factor. You don't need this that high. And then there's some distortion here too. So if we just like let's just turn these off for a second just so we can focus on what the distortion is doing. That sounds cool because it's almost like giving it that clipping sound. And you can mix this in too. And then you can focus on which frequencies you want to focus in on that makes it distorted. So if we take out the low end, now we're mainly affecting the higher half of the frequency. The lower half, the whole signal. Let's go through the other distortion presets. Iron. Crunch. That sounds fucking nasty. You can do something with that. That sounds cool. Heavy. It's like some metal. That sounds cool. This is nice and a little bit more spacey. That's all of them. That's pretty cool. I like this crunch. Let's turn the mix down a little bit. You want some pretty heavy distortion, but only like half the signal. Sounds pretty cool. Okay. Let's see what the digital does. This is like a little bit crusher, I think. It's adding little metal tingies to it, which sounds pretty cool. Again, you can control like which part of the frequency gets affected. What does the smooth do? It makes it less rough around the edges. This is something I would have probably further down. Pretty cool. You can mess with that. That's cool too. There's a cut button, so if you have cut on, I'm assuming that this is cutting whatever area that you have chosen. Yeah, so if I turn that cut on, it's taking out those high little bits, adding it back in. Cool. Digital. Space. This is probably like some sort of chorus, dispersed reverb type sound. I don't know what I'm even trying to say right there. Yeah, that spaciness. Pre-delay. And pre-delay is obviously when the signal comes in. How long does it take before this effect comes in? So if you turn it up, you're going to hear the original signal first, and then the delay is going to come in. It's going to follow right afterwards. And it's going to follow in by timing. So like if you want like 100 milliseconds behind, see how you hear that original signal and then it comes in? If you have this, it'll space out. It'll make it so that the original signal is less up front and it comes in quicker. So that delay is coming in right when the signal comes in. So spacey far back, up front, but then the space follows behind. There we go, you can tell it more there. And the more you crank it, the longer the tail, and the more behind it is. When I mess with plugins like this, or anything that's kind of subtle and you can't necessarily hear the sound very well, I like to crank it all the way up so I know what it's doing. And then you can dial it back. Like say you're like... oh, I like how it sits right there. and then you can just start pulling this back. Or if you have the mix knob, you can mix between the two, the dry and the wet signal, but this particular area doesn't have it. Magnetic. More fluttery things. The wear almost sounds like it's kind of like doing this sort of panning thing. It is. Yeah, it totally is. Which is cool. It's going between the left and the right speakers. So once you have like these all combined and you tweak them all a little bit, like you can do so much with your sound. You can color the shit out of it because it's called retro color, and you can just add movement to it, which is my favorite part. I'm always wanting to find ways to add movement to my melodies, to my drums, to whatever, so that it doesn't feel so stagnant, and this is a cool way to do it. You can throw this on your melodies, you can throw this on whatever. Get creative with it. Like you can throw this on your 808s, and you can crank this distortion. This distortion has some pretty cool different little distortion sounds. And then oh shit, this is the magnitude of the entire thing, right? So if you had all these cranked, this is how much is being affected, how much it's the master, all right? And then you have your whole master thing right here. Like there's how much of your input is coming in, the input signal, and then how much you're gonna cut out with the EQ. You can turn that off, and then you can boost certain areas and turn up the tone, and then your output. What does the signal sound like right before it comes out of the speakers? Turn up some gain, turn up some width to add some stereo width. Be careful with adding stereo width because there's so many plugins in here that creates more stereo width, so you want to be a little frugal about that. You don't want to just crank everything and make it all completely like spaced out, because then your sound will start feeling a little bit weak and such like that. Of course, there's like different scenarios where you would do different things, obviously, but just be careful with that. It does sound cool, and you might have the tendency to want to crank that stuff up like I kind of do sometimes, but just be careful with it. Anyways, there's tons of presets too. I've never really dove into a lot of this, but you can mess around with this, and then like you can find a good place to start. Like that sounds wonky, and then you can just start dialing shit back. That's sad piano. It's the sad piano. Lots of cool stuff you can do. It's a cool plugin. I picked it up for, I don't even know, like $69 or something like that, because XLN was having a sale. You can pick this up too. I don't know if they're going to be having a sale by the time you see this video, but it's usually $99. It's a very great plugin. It's super popular right now. Like a ton of people I see using it. And so that's why I wanted to check it out, and I got it, and it's great. I like it. But obviously you don't need it. You can find other plugins that you can put together to create this sort of sound or something similar. But it is a great plugin to just throw in on there and save yourself some time, and have a lot of different things you can tweak and stuff inside one plugin, which saves you time, which creates better workflow, which is ultimately what's important. You want a good workflow, and this is going to help you achieve it. Now if we throw some drums in there. Pretty cool. So if you're interested in checking out this plugin, I'm going to drop a link below to the website so where you can pick it up, or you can try it out. There's a trial period. I think it's 7 days. Don't remember exactly, but I think it is 7 days, and you can try it out and just throw it on your stuff and start messing with it and see what you think about it. Like this is something you got to kind of try on your own, and just like there's infinite possibilities with it. So definitely try it out. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you liked it, please hit like, hit subscribe to my channel if you are wanting to see more music production tutorials, and just we talk about a lot, all music production things here. So if you wanted to check that out, if you want to hit subscribe and stick around and hang out with me, then I would love to see you guys around. Catch you in the next one. Peace.